The sun hadn't been up for long in Crestview Meadows, a master-planned community built on pristine sidewalks, perfect hedges, and the illusion of peace. The HOA president, Sharon Geller, patrolled the neighborhood in her golf cart every morning like clockwork, a clipboard in one hand, a coffee in the other, and a perpetual frown resting on her forehead. That morning, her eyes narrowed as she passed the corner of Willowbin and Kingston Drive. Parked slightly crooked on the curb, outside one of the smaller single-story homes, sat a beat-up black Honda Civic. It was dusty. The bumper had a scratch. The license plate had a tiny dent. It was, in her eyes, an eyesore. "Absolutely unacceptable," she muttered, snapping a photo with her phone. She scribbled a violation notice and stuck it under the windshield wiper with such flourish you'd think she'd personally stopped a crime. Then she picked up her phone and dialed. "This is Sharon Geller, president of the Crestview Meadows HOA. I'm reporting a code violation. There's an unsightly vehicle parked on Willowbend. Please send a tow truck immediately. I've already documented everything." By 10 a.m., the flatbed truck had arrived. Neighbors peeked through blinds as the operator began hooking up the Civic. A few people whispered and watched, their curiosity piqued by the public display of Sharon's usual overreach. Just as the rear wheels were lifting, a young man jogged out of the house in gym shorts and a hoodie, earbuds dangling from his neck. "Whoa, what are you doing?" he shouted. The driver looked up. "Got a call from the HOA. Says this car violates community appearance standards." "This is my car," the young man said, panting. "I was just about to drive to the gym. Sorry, buddy, orders from the top. Already started the hookup. Gonna have to take it in, unless someone pays the cancellation fee." Sharon came storming out of her golf cart like she was leading a cavalry. "That's right. This vehicle has been sitting here looking like trash for 2 days. It's disruptive to the aesthetic of our community." The young man looked at her, puzzled but amused. "So you towed my car because it's dusty? And crooked," she added. "We have standards. That car belongs to a resident, me. I've lived here for 6 months. I'm leasing from the Thompsons." "Then perhaps you should learn to respect community rules," Sharon snapped, loud enough for others to hear. "People like you bring down property values." A hush fell over the small crowd that had begun to gather. The young man slowly pulled out his phone and dialed a number. "Hey, Dad, you got a minute?" Sharon rolled her eyes. "Oh, what? Calling Daddy to bail you out of a ticket?" "No," he said, smirking. "I just thought you'd want to say that to his face." 10 minutes later, a sleek black SUV with tinted windows pulled up to the curb. Out stepped a tall, commanding man in a tailored suit, Mayor William Redford, the highest elected official in the city. His expression was calm, but his eyes scanned the scene with steely precision. "Sharon," he said curtly, "we meet again." Sharon's mouth fell open. "Mayor Redford, I had no idea your son was staying here." "He's not just staying," the mayor said. "He signed a lease under his own name. This community is under my jurisdiction. Your HOA bylaws may regulate property maintenance, but you do not have the authority to tow a vehicle without following due process, including resident notification." "I followed protocol." "No, you didn't," the mayor said, cutting her off. "You called for a tow before the ink dried on your violation slip. That's harassment, not enforcement." "But the car is legal, insured, registered, and my son pays his dues like every other resident here." The tow truck driver, sensing the shift in power, quietly unhooked the vehicle and backed away. Sharon's face had gone pale, her grip tightening around her clipboard. I didn't know." "That's the problem," Mayor Redford said. "You don't ask, you just act." He turned to his son. "Get back to your workout, I'll handle this." Then he faced Sharon one last time. "Consider this your final warning. One more act of overreach, and I'll push for a review of the HOA charter. With enough votes from the council, we'll dissolve it." Gasps echoed among the neighbors now crowding the sidewalk. Sharon, sputtering, stormed back to her golf cart in defeat. From that day on, the golf cart patrols grew fewer, the notices less aggressive, and the dusty black Civic, it remained parked, proudly, legally, and sometimes even a little crooked, just to remind everyone who really had the final word.